like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth on LGBTQ. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, you guys. So like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you guys get updated when I release video content on the channel. Man, if y'all have not subscribed, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure after y'all hit the subscribe button, y'all hit that bell. After y'all hit that bell, it's going to say all. You click the all button, and that way you guys will get all the updates when I release video content on this network and on this channel. Now, I want to get into this situation with J-A-Y, I Flow Sick, Jay-Z. But first, y'all press 1 in the comments and let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Let me get a mic check real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. As Jay-Z's lawyers, I told you guys, they've been out here going overtime, trying to do everything possible. But y'all notice one thing, and I'll talk about this later on. Everybody that's in the comment section, people had a victory lap before there was victory for Jay-Z. And one thing you'll notice is that lawsuit ain't been thrown out yet. Why hasn't the lawsuit been thrown out? It's Wednesday. Jay-Z's lawyer, since last Friday, demanded that the lawsuit be thrown out. He sent a letter and he demanded that the lawsuit with the girl with special needs against Jay-Z be thrown out. But for some reason, the judge, and it's Wednesday, today, has not thrown out that case. Jay-Z's lawyers have went public. They did interviews. He has done a public press conference showing all of these alleged different things that contradict all this girl's story. But for some reason, the judge have not immediately thrown that case out. Jay-Z's lawyers say this is all a lie. It was all cap. She's lying. This situation never happened. None of these things happened. There was no third celebrity. There is no third witness. It's all lies. But for some reason, as we sit here today, that lawsuit, and we're almost through this week, has not been thrown out. Well, today, Tony Busby had been quiet all weekend long while everybody was talking about Tony Busby and he's a shakedown lawyer and all this other stuff. And he ain't this, he ain't that. Tony Busby out of the great state of Texas, where they do everything bigger down there in Texas. I told you once, I told you twice, and I'm going to tell you 3 times. You don't ever underestimate a lawyer like Tony Busby, who has collected over $10 billion of litigation in his career. You never underestimate cats like that. This is chess, not checkers. And I'm going to say this again. Jay-Z lawyers put themselves out there. Tony Busby laid the bait. Everybody thought, oh, wow, we got him. We got him. Well, Tony Busby outsmarted Jay-Z's entire team. Because what did Tony Busby do? And I told you guys this, right? I told you guys this. Tony Busby set this whole thing up perfectly. He knew that that girl's stories had inconsistencies in them. But he knew that the judge would have leniency on the case because the girl is special needs. And if you look that up, you will see what I'm talking about. So now Jay-Z's lawyers, who you've never seen his lawyers do this for any other situation, are out here publicly showing all kind of counter alleged evidence and everything to shoot down these so-called allegations against Jay-Z. And to discredit Tony Busby and all these other things. And ever since Tony Busby been coming after Diddy and coming after Jay-Z specifically, now he has 2 new lawsuits against him out of the blue. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Busby said that I'm not talking in the public no more. I'm talking in a court of law. So while we're on Wednesday and that lawsuit still has not been thrown out by a judge who has been assigned to that lawsuit, still has not thrown that lawsuit out. We're on Wednesday. Jay-Z's team asked Friday that lawsuit been thrown out. It wasn't thrown out Monday. They came out and did another press conference with a whole PowerPoint presentation. Did an interview on TV. That lawsuit from that girl still haven't been thrown out. And you guys forgot, Tony Busby still got stuff in his pocket. But I'm going to let y'all know what happened today. So a lot of you guys probably already know. So Jay-Z, his Rock Nation, have been hit with an illegal solicitation lawsuit from Tony Busby. And Tony Busby says he has proof. Not only does he have pictures, but he says he has video proof of this. Now, Tony Busby went to his social media account and he actually posted this screenshot of this girl, Marcy Bryan Croft, associating herself with Rock Nation. Amazing work. We're very proud to be a small part of this great team. Thank you, Rock Nation and Team Rock, for all that you do, right? And this was when the Jay-Z was with the Super Bowl thing. Jay-Z takes on the Super Bowl, blank. And then she wrote down there, thank you, Rock Nation and Team Rock, for all that you do, blah, blah, blah. So Tony Busby posted that, and then Tony Busby posted this. And as you guys can see, Tony Busby just filed the lawsuit with the allegations that he caught Jay-Z and his team red-handed. As Tony Busby says, today, the Busby law firm filed a lawsuit against Rock Nation and lawyers Marcy Croft and Quinn Emanuel for violation of various state laws, including barratry, and impersonation of a public official. The case was brought on behalf of a former client of the firm who was illegally solicited by agents working on behalf of the defendants. These agents pretended to be working for the state of Texas and offered the former client money to sue the Busby law firm. This illegal conduct has happened more than 24 times to date and has resulted in 2 utterly frivolous cases against the firm. The lawsuit filed today alleges that the defendant's conspiracy is intended to obstruct justice and prevent the Busby law firm from pursuing cases related to the Diddy litigation in New York. The conduct isn't just alleged, it was caught on tape. Now, let me stop right there and read that line to you guys to tell y'all why this is big problems for Jay-Z, right? This is major problems for Jay-Z because look at what Jay-Z's team did. Look at what Jay-Z's team did. They knew Tony Busby was on to something. And Jay-Z's team is panicking. You've never heard Jay-Z and his team talk this much in the public. But I'm going to tell y'all what they did, and they got caught, in my opinion. What Jay-Z's team did was, out of nowhere, right? They came out and made sure that when they were asked, they disassociated themselves with Diddy. The reason why they did this is because they knew, in my opinion, they knew that Tony Busby had been working with the feds and that they have linked Diddy and Jay-Z together. Because remember, I told y'all in that first lawsuit he filed, Tony Busby gave y'all a hint. Tony Busby said that Jay-Z and Diddy have been doing this for a long period of time. And so that is why Jay-Z's lawyer came out on behalf of Jay-Z. And that is the reason why Jay-Z's lawyer said that no, we're not linked with Diddy. We don't have anything to do with Diddy. They want to disassociate themselves with Diddy because they knew that Tony Busby was already associating them with Diddy. And they knew that Tony Busby was coming forth with multiple lawsuits that included Jay-Z and Diddy. And he told y'all this from the beginning. And now Tony Busby says he caught him. He has evidence of his claims because he caught it on tape. And it says right there, the lawsuit filed today alleges that the defendant's conspiracy is intended to obstruct justice and prevent the Busby law firm from pursuing cases related to Diddy litigation in New York. The conduct isn't just alleged, it was caught on tape. And so I'm going to read the rest of this to y'all in just a second. And that is the reason why now it all makes sense to y'all. That is the reason why Jay-Z's lawyer hammered home that Jay-Z has no relation to Diddy. They're not friends. They were just, and everybody called that shit cap because Jay-Z lawyers already knew, because Tony Busby did what a standard lawyer procedure is for filing a lawsuit. And that is why a lot of these guys don't know anything about legal procedures, because they haven't been involved in any legal procedures. Because if you have, you know that it is common practice with every single civil lawyer that before you sue a person, you always seek mediation first. That is what happened in the Megan Thee Stallion case just now, where they had to seek mediation first with her and the other girl, where y'all seeing all of these things that's being alleged now, that came from mediation. Right? So when you have mediation, what that is that's not a financial shakedown. What that is that's saying, look, we don't want to take this to court, but we want to have a meeting with you guys and present evidence and claims we have against you, in which we are intending to file a lawsuit against you, to see what your client has to say and if we can come to some type of resolution. Then after that, you get to whether or not it's going to be a financial settlement or whatever like that. It wasn't just to come in and, yo, you're going to pay me millions of dollars like Jay-Z's team said, unless, because Tony Busby has proof of that, he's going to send them to court a copy of the exact letter that he sent to Jay-Z and his team. The public haven't seen that. And think about this. Jay-Z's lawyers could have easily showed that letter to the public and shut Tony Busby down. They never did. Let me repeat myself again. Jay-Z's lawyers could have easily presented the letter that they alleged that Tony Busby gave them a shakedown, y'all, and demanded money. All he had to do was present that letter to the public, and Tony Busby was done. They didn't show anything. Why haven't Jay-Z's lawyers shown the actual letter that Tony Busby sent to them? Nobody thought about that except for me. I told y'all that, but y'all didn't want to listen. Think about it one more time. Why didn't Jay-Z's lawyers come out and end this whole case and show the letter where they say Tony Busby sent them demanding millions of dollars because that's what Jay-Z's lawyers accused Tony Busby of. Think I'm lying? I got the lawsuit right here where they accused Tony Busby of that. I got it right here, and I'm about to put it on your screen just to remind y'all, to show y'all, you have to be on point when Ticket is around covering these issues. You better be on point when I'm around. And so that is what he said. And that is what y'all seen, right? And that is what I'm going to show you guys right now and live on your screen. That is this is the real reason why. Anybody else tells you anything else, they're a liar, and they're probably getting a paycheck from somebody to say that bullshit. Because this is what Jay-Z's lawyers put out. And it's right there in black and white. Plaintiff John Doe, who is Jay-Z, that's who was suing Tony Busby, is the victim of a scheme by defendant Anthony G. Busby and his firm, the Busby Law Firm, collectively Busby or defendants, who are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him, or else publicly file wildly false, horrific allegations against him. Defendants have threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and malicious allegations of sexual assault, including multiple instances of R words of an under, both male and female. You've only heard about the female. Tony Busby still got the other one in his back pocket. He ain't finished with these dudes yet. Against Jay-Z if he refuses to comply with their demands. These basic or baseless accusations are nothing more than a weapon in a calculated plot to destroy Jay-Z's high-profile reputation for profit, despite the complete absence of any factual basis for such claims. Well, here's the thing. Jay-Z's lawyer made a big mistake. Because if Jay-Z's lawyers was telling the truth, and Tony Busby attempted to extort exorbitant sums from Jay-Z, why didn't Jay-Z's team show the paperwork? Tony Busby says that he is sending the actual paperwork to the court to prove he never asked for any amount of money. They only asked for a meeting, which is a standard process of what you call mediation, right? Standard process of what you call mediation. Case in point, the same thing that's going on with Megan Thee Stallion right now. Megan Thee Stallion and that girl who she's suing were both ordered to have mediation first. And that is why you guys are hearing all that information now from that Megan Thee Stallion situation, because it hasn't even went to court. That's because that's the stuff that came up in the mediation. They're not even talking money. They're talking mediation. So these guys that are saying that Tony Busby's a shakedown lawyer and he's dirty, no, they're compromised and they're not about what they say they're about. They full of shit and they're a part of the go along, get along game. And they're disguising as frauds running around on YouTube, trying to hide behind dudes who are really part of the go along, get along, tear down aspect. The guys who are really trying to destroy that go along, get along shit. They want to disguise themselves as being a part of that, but really they ain't nothing but a part of the system. And all they want to do is run up behind a bunch of goddamn celebrities all day and twerk and whatever they do. But these are the facts. So Tony Busby exposed these dudes, because if you are claiming that Tony Busby demanded and he basically tried to extort Jay-Z, the lawyer would have already showed the messages. The lawyer would have already showed that evidence. He got the letter. Why haven't Jay-Z's lawyer showed the letter? Because it's a lie. And all of y'all went along with it, hook, line, and sinker. That's why Tony Busby said, I'm sending a copy of the letter that we sent to Jay-Z, which was only asking for mediation, to the actual court. Now, we're on Wednesday, and that first lawsuit from that girl have not been, let me repeat myself, it have not been thrown out. And Jay-Z's lawyer have been going crazy, doing interview, PowerPoint presentations, all of these things to present to the public to try to prove Jay-Z's case in the court of public opinion. But Tony Busby is working in the court of law because he actually is filing litigation in court. And he's not trying to do a PowerPoint. But what Tony Busby did that was smart was he knew that girl's stories had inconsistencies. And he put that girl out there on TV knowing what the questioning was going to be. Because there's no way any lawyer worth their salt is going to put their client on TV, do an interview, know that NBC is going to come hard at her and make her look bad. But everybody missed the point except for me. Tony Busby did that because he only wanted you guys to see one thing, in the court to see one thing, that girl was special needs because she was only a Jane Doe, and it never mentioned anywhere in the lawsuit that she was special needs. So now the parameters change because is she special needs? Look up the law. And then her age at that time, along with the fact that she's special needs. Why haven't a judge thrown out this case if it's all lies, like Jay-Z's lawyers are saying? Why haven't a judge immediately threw out this case? We on Wednesday, that case is still going. But now Tony Busby has came out and filed the lawsuit against Jay-Z. And he says the conduct isn't just alleged, it was caught on tape. And you best believe Tony Busby, he got that tape. Now it says the defendant, Marcy Croft, who describes herself on social media as a part of quote unquote Team Rock. Remember, Tony Busby put up the screenshot of her social media account where she described herself as Team Rock on her official page. He went back and said amazing work is what she posted on her official social media account. We're proud to be a small part of this great team. Thank you, Rock Nation and Team Rock, for all that you do. So Tony Busby, who included this girl in this lawsuit as well, said defendant Marcy Croft, who describes herself on social media as a part of quote unquote Team Rock, is orchestrating the conspiracy along with the assistance from defendant Quinn Emanuel. As you can see from the screenshot, Croft, Quinn Emanuel, and Rock Nation have a long working history. The lawsuit alleges that defendant Rock Nation is financing the illegal effort. As set forth in the lawsuit earlier this week, agents acting on Mrs. Croft's behalf again were caught on tape soliciting and offering up to $10,000 to former clients of Tony Busby, the Busby law firm, to convince them to file a frivolous case against the Busby law firm. Let me repeat that again. So Tony Busby says he has video evidence that he's going to present in court that proves that these people who are associated and work with Rock Nation, right, have bribed his former clients with money to file frivolous lawsuits against him. And he says he got the video on tape. It says it's set forth in this lawsuit earlier this week. Agents acting on Mrs. Croft's behalf again were caught on tape soliciting and offering money up to $10,000 to former clients of the Busby law firm to convince them to file a frivolous case against the Busby law firm. These folks have now stooped to a new low to try to intimidate the lawyers of the Busby law firm from doing their important work. They're now contacting clients and former clients and actually offering them money to sue me. This conduct was specifically targeted at our firm, so we do not pursue cases related to the Diddy litigation, which is why Jay-Z's lawyer, and they got him. I told you, if the left one don't get you, the right one will, which is why Jay-Z's lawyer made it clear that we are not friends with Diddy. We have no personal association with Diddy. We only had a professional relationship, and that's it. And the whole world called Jay-Z's lawyer a goddamn liar. The whole world called him a goddamn liar. And Tony Busby, he got him shaking and shivering because of the simple fact. And you think about this now, that Jay-Z's lawyer is on the record now doing this because they knew that Tony Busby was linking Jay-Z to Diddy in these allegations and in these different cases. And they knew that Tony Busby had been working with the feds because Tony Busby admitted he had been working with the feds. And in the superseding indictment, remember I told y'all other people were going to be named in that superseding indictment, and Jay-Z's lawyers want at all costs for Jay-Z not to be named with Diddy in that superseding indictment. But this is what happens when Jay-Z's name is attached to Diddy now in these various lawsuits. So now you saw the effort from Jay-Z's lawyers to try to erase this, 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 and this from the people's memories over the years and make you think that this was no personal friendship, even though Diddy said that Jay-Z is the only person that can call him Sean in the world beside his own mother because that's his brother in real life. And that whenever he's in trouble, that's the man he calls for advice. That's his brother. He love that brother. And Jay-Z told him, man, I love you too, brother. But Jay-Z's lawyer says, nah, that was just, that was just business. But Tony Busby, he was already on it because Jay-Z's lawyers came out and told y'all, and I told y'all from the beginning, this went past everybody's nose. And here's the big part that everybody's forgetting. Jay-Z's lawyers are so desperate to get this case thrown out, and they're doing so much talking in the public eye because Jay-Z's lawyer knows that this ain't the only case. So if Jay-Z's lawyers can try to make Tony Busby look bad off this case, they know that the public is so much of sheep that they'll believe that all the other cases that Tony Busby is preparing to bring against Jay-Z and Diddy are lies. That's the real reason why they disassociated themselves with Diddy, because they knew Tony Busby had linked Jay-Z to Diddy. And he told you right here in their lawsuit, it says the Busby law firm, who are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him or else publicly file wildly false, horrific allegations, not allegation, with an S, against him. Defendants have threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and malicious allegations of sexual assault, meaning more than one allegation of sexual assault is out there against Jay-Z, according to his lawyer, including multiple, not just one, multiple instances sexual assault of an underage person, both male and female. You've only seen one of the females. You haven't even seen a male yet. Tony Busby got that in his back pocket. See, Tony Busby, what he did was, he letting this shit burn slow. So he dropping them one at a time. Just so all of the impact, everybody can absorb all of these cases one by one. That's what y'all haven't noticed about Tony Busby. Tony Busby got 120 cases. He could have already dropped 150 cases, excuse me. He could have already dropped them all in 1 week. He didn't do that though, because he didn't want to confuse the public. He want this shit to seep in. Tony Busby want this shit to deep like ether, right? He want this to be the new ether. So what he did was, he filed the one. He knew that girl's story had inconsistencies, but Tony Busby understands that she's special needs. The public would have never known she was special needs because it wasn't put in a lawsuit and she was Jane Doe. And even if her identity was revealed in a lawsuit, as far as her name, most of the general public would have never known she was special needs because they didn't say that. But if you go back, and I'm going to show you guys, and you look at that interview she did on NBC, Tony Busby made sure, he made sure that they explained to the world that that interview, she was a special needs person. And if you go back and watch that interview, they showed her on a shadow with her disability, and that was done purposely. So Tony Busby knew he was going to take the hit from Jay-Z's lawyers on her allegations, but he made the point to show the whole world that this girl is special needs. So there's leeway in this case, and as well as her being a minor, and as well as her alleging that she was given something that her drink was spiked. So you put all those aspects together. Spiked drink. Shout out to my brother Kwame Brown in the building. If he in the building, salute to him. He already know what it is. And my brother in the building, there you go. So he knew. Once again, I want y'all to listen to this. Tony Busby been playing chess. And I told y'all, these Negroes been playing checkers.
Autism, you should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through.
Now, did y'all peep the question? Did y'all peep the question? Tony Busby set this up, and he cooked every one of these niggas. 3 the hard way, nigga. Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. The great goddamn state of Texas, boy. Tony Busby, this motherfucker playing chess. He sent her up there. She asked her, what made you come up here today? They didn't have to do that. Tony Busby sitting right in the cut. He know what the question is going to be to that girl. He knows that girl's going to look bad to people who don't have sense, who are not thinking correctly. That Tony Busby's point of the whole interview was to show the world that she's special needs. So now, when you put special needs along with the fact that she's a legend, that her drink was spiked, and that she was a youngin' at the time, now you put all those aspects together, any judge in America is going to say, hey, maybe she might have some of the details off. But Tony Busby is the one who did that. And people were saying, why would Tony Busby do this? Because he's smarter than all you guys. And he's got Jay-Z out of Jay-Z's pocket. Jay-Z's always been cool, calm, and collected through every situation, except for this one. Because Jay-Z knew that Tony Busby was coming to link him to Diddy, which is why he knew right now that the worst thing you can do is be linked to Diddy. This is the reason why when Diddy was going through all of his charges, and I told y'all all these celebrities were quiet. This is the reason why Jay-Z never said anything, ever said anything in response to any of those allegations. He laid in the cut. But then when Tony Busby came and did that press conference and told everybody that he was working with the feds, right? And that he had given information over to the feds, you wonder why we are on Wednesday and Jay-Z's lawyers demanded Friday that this case be thrown out. We're on Wednesday and this case has not been thrown out. And now they've been sued. But you have to remember, NBC wasn't the one that pushed for this interview. Tony Busby set the interview up because Tony Busby wanted to be transparent in front of the world and show y'all that she did have inconsistencies in her story. But she stays firm on her claims that they allegedly did this to her. She never said, this didn't happen to me. But you had a lot of people in YouTube that says, oh, she admitted she lied about this happening. She never admitted that she lied about the assault happening to her. So Tony Busby, every lawyer knows when you go do interviews, they know the questions that are going to be asked. And if any lawyer has a problem during that interview with any question that's asked, he immediately says, hey, my client refuses to answer that question. But Tony Busby didn't do that. That wasn't his point. That wasn't his point. Tony Busby is Ben Matlock on these motherfuckers. And I'm telling you, excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen, he Ben Matlock on their ass. Because Tony Busby ass set him up hook, line, and sinker. He got Jay-Z's lawyers out here publicly disassociating themselves from Diddy. Now think about this. This shit is in the public now. That they have disassociated themselves with Diddy. They have said that they did not have no friendship with him. It was only a professional relationship. It wasn't like that. So now, if Tony Busby, when he files another suit against Jay-Z with one of these clients, and he puts Diddy in that suit, and he can have anything to prove that they were linked, he will not only prove that Jay-Z's lawyer lied because he said that Diddy and Jay-Z were not friends and they were not linked. Tony Busby has set this whole thing up perfectly because remember, Jay-Z's lawyers are fighting one allegation. The other ones haven't even come yet. And they know they coming because Jay-Z's lawyer put right on your screen that the defendants have threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and malicious allegations of sexual assault, including multiple. That means that it's more than one, potentially more than two, of R-wording or you know what. And it says both male and female. And read what Tony Busby wrote. Paragraph at the end. The conduct, right? He says they are now, right? Or let me read the whole last paragraph. He said these folks have now stooped to a new low to try to intimidate the lawyers of the Busby law firm from doing their important work. They now are contacting clients and former clients and actually offering them money to sue me. Remember, Tony Busby didn't get sued until he came after Jay-Z. He said, let me be clear, right? Oh, no, let me finish. He says they are now contacting clients and former clients and offering them money to sue me. The conduct was specifically targeted at our firm, so we would not pursue cases related to the Diddy litigation. And I told y'all, you guys don't read the paperwork. I do. If you go back and read the first lawsuit from Tony Busby, from that girl against Jay-Z, Tony Busby told you in that lawsuit, he wrote the lawsuit like a federal indictment. He says that Jay-Z and Diddy have been doing these things for a long period of time, is what he's alleged in the first lawsuit. So he already let you know it's more lawsuits coming. And here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. As everybody's listening to my voice today, now it's the moment of truth for P. Diddy. Because Diddy sees that nobody's standing with him. Will Smith says, I had nothing to do with Diddy. I don't know nothing about him. I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't at the party. I left early. I had nothing to do with it. Don't put me in it. Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Hey, man, lawyer came out. Hey, they weren't friends. Hey, it's like, you see somebody at the NBA All-Star game. They wasn't friends. Strictly business. Disassociating themselves with Diddy. Diddy's behind prison wall. Diddy just gave up his fight for bail. Diddy been fighting for bail all this time. Out of the blue, he gives it up. Says, I quit. Then yesterday, they come and re-announce again after they had already announced 2 months ago that white boy who got caught with Diddy at that airport the day of the raid, they come back and announce yesterday that, yeah, man, he gone free. Now, this dude was caught with that stuff at the airport. And he got a slap on the wrist. But if you guys go back and look at the original article says that boy got a plea deal. But yesterday, and this is what I personally think, that article was rehashed yesterday because everybody, since I have been talking about this, been asking, where's that boy at? Where he at? Because he may be one of the ones who can link a lot of this stuff. And then yesterday came out the news. All of a sudden, once again, they rehashed that story. That's why I didn't even talk about it. Because they rehashed it, but they changed one detail in that story yesterday. And I think that detail was put out there to protect that boy. And that was that he did not cooperate. Why would they put that in the article? They said that white boy did not cooperate. They said, oh, he struck a deal. He's not getting no time. He did what he had to do. He did not cooperate. He's a free man. But at first they said that he had reached a plea deal to where he would do no time. And you know what happens when you get a plea deal. But I think that they had to protect that boy. Now, who knows where he at? And who knows what he knows, right? But I'm going to bring another name back up to y'all. Somebody who was around. Who knows what Lil Rod knows? Who knows what Lil Rod knows and what Lil Rod has seen and what he has evidence of seeing? Because Lil Rod had videos that he had taken, photos he had taken, and a lot of things behind the scenes. And the fact that they got Jay-Z's people on the record to say in front of the world that they were not associated with Diddy as far as friends. This was only business and for the public eye, whatever. Now, the situation has changed. Here's what I believe is what's going to happen. And this is why I said Jay-Z deserves a day in court to prove his innocence, because they're getting ready to come at him with a blizzard. What I believe is going to happen is, I believe Tony Busby is going to come with a response to the courts with this situation from this girl. Remember, Tony Busby still has not responded to that. I believe he's going to come with a response about this whole situation with that special needs girl. And then I believe that Tony Busby is going to do what Jay-Z's lawyers allege he has which has come out with a slew of allegations more against Jay-Z and other victims, and try to link him to Diddy and those allegations. That's what I think Tony Busby is setting up now. And what Tony Busby did was he put all of this in the public, because what does this do? Now this hinders anybody from now going forward to throw any salt in the game, because the feds is watching. The feds is watching. So Tony put this out there in the public. So everybody's talking about how Tony Busby's stupid. He's a shakedown lawyer, all this other stuff. Why they haven't thrown the case out? What are the feds investigating? Remember how the feds just went and got Lil Durk. They went and got all those dudes first, and then went and snatched up Lil Durk out of nowhere. Superseding indictment, you never know who they investigating. And the feds told y'all numerous times during all of Diddy's hearings, and Diddy's getting ready to go to court in 1 hour and a half. He's going to court again today, where there's more goddamn discovery in those videos. The discovery is out. And we're going to be live on this channel when Diddy goes to court today. The judge called an emergency hearing today. Emergency hearing. Emergency hearing. Where Diddy's going to be in court today. Right? And I'm going to show you this right now. Diddy is sitting in a jail cell right now. And he's seen that everybody's crossed him. He has no friends. He knows he's up against it. He's given up on bail. After all these fights, he just gave up, y'all. The question is Sean Diddy Combs going to take everything down for a plea deal? Is Sean Combs going to implicate multiple people for a plea deal? Today, Sean Combs is due in court, according to Megan Cuniff, who covers all of this legal. Prosecutors, meaning the feds, the government, say they're on track to complete all of the production of the discovery, meaning, for you guys who don't understand legal terms, that 11 TBs of video files that were confiscated from Diddy's home in the raid. Diddy's lawyers have not seen those videos, but they're afraid of what's on those videos. And today, the judge have called an emergency hearing because on December the 31st, they will hand over all the videos and the discovery of said videos. They will hand it over to Diddy's team, a copy of it, and some of them to the judge. Some of them to the judge. And so who knows what's on those tapes? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think Diddy knows everything that's on those tapes. I think it's impossible for Diddy to know everything that's on those tapes. Why y'all think they gave Diddy a laptop? They gave Diddy a laptop because he has the right to review that evidence of what they seized in those raids. And when you have that much video and you have a house that's that big and everything had been recorded, Diddy wasn't the one that was sitting up there doing the programming. He had somebody else that was doing the production and the programming of the videos. They just got confiscated. So now, the feds have all those videos that they confiscated. Who's on those videos? What celebrities are on those videos doing God knows what? Because in less than 2 weeks, Diddy's lawyers will know who's on those goddamn videos. His lawyers don't even know. His lawyers have probably asked him privately, man, who the hell is on these videos, man? And you have to think, over 20-something years, all those videos, Diddy don't know who's on all those videos or doing what? It could have been all kind of crazy. He might know, he might remember some of the stuff. It's probably all kind of stuff that's on the videos he don't even remember. Now, he probably had certain videos that he had lined up on certain people. He could have possibly had that. But to know what was on all those videos, now you find out in discovery, because the discovery process is pretty much, which is why today in court, it's going to get diabolical today in court. Because now today in court, the judge have ordered for today at 2 p.m., courtroom 15A, right? He have ordered this emergency hearing about this evidence. And the judge told y'all before he wanted to see the evidence. So you wonder why. Now we go back to Jay-Z's lawyer, who went out of his way to make sure when that dude asked that question that he disassociated Jay-Z from Diddy. What's on those tapes? What's on those tapes? 11 TBs. 11 TBs. That could be almost 500 hours of video footage. What's on those tapes? And now the government, remember, they did the siege. They did the search and siege months ago of Diddy's house. And they still hadn't gone through all those tapes. Just now, all them people they had on this whole shit, just now they're starting to finish with a discovery of those videotapes. So now Diddy is going to have a long time, and his lawyers, to look through all those videotapes. Because remember, they have to hand over a copy of the evidence to Diddy's team so that they can see what the discovery was. And now, somebody might get to barking. Somebody might get to singing. You guys know how this goes. You understand? You know how this goes. And especially since everybody has pretty much disassociated themselves with Diddy. That's dangerous right there. Instead of taking a fifth and not saying nothing, now you got to wonder, what is Diddy going to say? Now this might turn into a war between Diddy and all these other celebrities, allegedly, that could be involved. This is going to be epic right here. Because now this is going to be one of them situations where if Diddy, if he feel like, because everybody's choosing their family. I told you guys, Jay-Z really had no choice. He had to disassociate himself with Diddy. He had no choice. Because if you don't do that, you're probably going to lose Beyonce, NFL, all those other deals you got, it's going to end up happening like what happened with Diddy. So he had to disassociate himself with Diddy because Diddy got too much dirt on. The problem is when you do that, now what you do is you have to wonder if Diddy's going to do the same for himself and sit up here and say, man, bro, I'm going to be in here for the rest of my life, or I'm going to go Nino Brown on these niggas and save whatever else of my life I can have left and come out and have a few great years like O.J. Simpson. This shit fitting to get and remember one part. Ever since Jay-Z's lawyers said what they said, peep this, y'all. Diddy's lawyers have responded to everything Tony Busby and anybody else have said. But when Jay-Z's lawyer said that about Diddy, you haven't heard a mumbling word from Diddy's lawyers. You know why? In my opinion, they thinking and plotting and planning on what the hell they gonna do. Especially now that there's a court today in about an hour or less than an hour, 1 hour and a half, it's court today, and that video evidence have been opened. All that video evidence that was seized from Diddy's homes will now be presented in its entirety to Diddy's team. And you know the judge has already asked for some of that video evidence as well. So today in court, we're going to find out a lot. And we're going to find out where Diddy's mindset is. And you're going to know how deep this thing is. Because if Diddy does get a plea deal, that means it was some other real powerful people that he could give him or them that they could not reject this. So now it's all on Diddy. It's all on Diddy. And it's all in those tapes too. It's all in those tapes too. And to the person who says that Jay-Z's money and his connects are too much for Tony and Combs, I doubt it. Because if that's the case, Tony Busby would have already been up out of here. He's not. If that's the case, when Jay-Z's lawyers came out and put on the screen all of these things to try to shoot down that girl's allegations, that case would have already been thrown out. When Jay-Z's people come to cancel you, they get you out of there immediately. Remember what they did with Piers Morgan? They called Piers Morgan. He took that interview down instantly. Tony Busby's refusing to back down. He's refusing to back down, sir. See, here's the one thing you guys forget. And everybody that's listening to this video, that's a Marine, you know I'm not lying. The Marines, they stand for something, meaning they never quit and they never fold under any circumstances. And anybody that's a Marine that's listening to this video, you can tell me in the comment section right now, you know I'm not lying. And the one thing about Tony Busby, because I had to do my research on Tony Busby. I couldn't just come out here running my mouth like a lot of people do and don't know what the hell they're talking about. I had to do my research on Tony Busby. And when I went and looked up Tony Busby, if you guys go to the University of Texas A&M, they have an entire section in the college and the university set up for Tony Busby in honor of Tony Busby. They have his military service pictures up there, his service pictures up there in the Marines, all those things for Tony Busby. Look it up. Texas A&M University. Tony Busby ain't no small potatoes, dog. He ain't no small potatoes. So trust what I tell you. It ain't gonna be easy to get a guy like Tony Busby. Them Marines, tell you right now, they built the absolute toughest. You talking about military training? There ain't no training like them trainings the Marines go through. And you can ask any Marine that you know. Them trainings the Marines go through, I'm telling you right, to be a Marine, the training they go through, man, as I told y'all, and Busby probably sitting back listening to this right now laughing. Busby been sitting this whole thing, like, he probably laughing. Like, well, this boy Ticket is smart. He a smart guy. You know, and Busby was laughing. The girl Tisa, she been doing a hell of a job. Tisa, salute to you, girl. You've been doing a hell of a job. We'll give you your flowers. They trying to hate on you, talking about you beautiful. You're knowledgeable. You do your homework. And no disrespect to your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. But the Ticket definitely got love for you. Believe that. Because you on point. You know what I'm saying? I listen. I respects the game. Straight up. You understand? Busby. Busby. Hey, man. Ask yourself this one question. 2 questions. Why haven't the court thrown out that case yet? If everything Jay-Z's lawyers are saying is true, why haven't the court thrown out the case immediately? And the second thing is why did Jay-Z's lawyers really disassociate him with Diddy? Knowing that Tony Busby has been out here trying to link Jay-Z to Diddy in multiple crimes. And they admitted that in their lawsuit against Diddy. He admitted that, Tony Busby, that they had tried to stop him so they would not pursue cases related to the Diddy litigation. But Jay-Z's lawyer said, I don't have no. What did his lawyer say? His lawyer said, we don't have nothing to do with Diddy's cases or his litigation. He said that too. So he's trying to do his job and disassociate. Right? And I got to give you credit. Spiro, y'all going hard. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all going hard in the paint. Spiro's doing everything he can do. Spiro is a good he's a good goddamn defense lawyer. I ain't gonna lie. Spiro's doing everything he can do. But it's only so much you can do. It's only so much you can do if Tony Busby is right. So y'all ask yourselves this question. And if you don't believe me, go look up the University of Texas A&M and look up that whole section they got over there for Tony Busby. He's not small potatoes, and he's not no shakedown lawyer. He's not. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. The proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. Watch what happens next. Tony Busby, in my opinion, is going to respond to this situation with this girl. I guarantee you his entire response or along to it is going to be circled around the fact that she was special needs, she was younger at that time, and she alleged that something was given to her, right? Which is reasonably, any judge and within reason who sees that, because there's laws associated with that, is going to look at that. And then y'all haven't even heard the other allegations. Y'all haven't even heard the other allegations that they say that he has against Jay-Z. So we haven't even heard the other allegations. And we haven't even seen if those other allegations can be disproved or not. The way that Jay-Z's lawyers disproved this one and jumped out there head first on this one. Maybe that's because Tony Busby wanted them to come out there and make sure he got them on the public record denying all of these things. Because remember, he never named the other celebrity in the lawsuit. And that's the thing. If Tony Busby has the other celebrity come forward and testify and crush all of us, that's the part y'all not thinking about. He never named a female celebrity. And the last thing, all those female celebrities y'all think it could be, they all quiet. Say it one more time. All those female celebrities y'all think it could be, they all quiet. All of them quiet. Not a word. Make you think, what the hell is going on? Because if you really had nothing to do with this whole situation, they'd be out here saying, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they would stand on that because they knew they didn't have nothing to do with it. Right? Right? to the person who says ticket may have a limited vocabulary, ticket ain't got no limited vocabulary. This shit get deep, boy. You thought I could only talk basketball. See, what you didn't know was, and since you said limited vocabulary, you don't want to play these games with me, dog. I can do this whole show in French, Spanish, or Arabic, dog. Entonces, no relajando conmigo, porque yo no relajando contigo. Tú sabes, papá. Yo no soy un payaso. Yo sabe muy bien todo. Yo entiendo todo muy bien. Yo no soy un estúpido. Tú sabes. Yo estudiando mucho. Yo no soy palomo, yo no soy payaso, yo no relajando con ningún gente. Yo no soy así, papá. Yo soy una persona muy inteligente. Entonces, cuando tú hablas conmigo, habla con respeto. Tú sabes, siempre así. Mariconazo. So, yeah, I just told y'all. Yeah, you know what it is, boy. You say it's diabolical. You better believe that, boy. I can talk with anybody, dog. You can't put me nowhere on this earth and I can't talk to the people, dog. That's not going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? You give me 1 month, I'll learn your language. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Salute, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. This shit finna get real now. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a ball game now. We definitely got a ball game.